Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you with us. Today we're going to be talking about how you can get good internet if you live in the middle of nowhere. We're going to show you what we did and how we did it. So let's jump right into this. We ended up going with Starlink. Now for those who do not know, Starlink is a satellite-based internet provider that is available worldwide. Now this happens to be a Gen 2 kit. We're all the way up to a Gen 3 at the time of making this video. So depending on which one you get, it's going to change a little bit, but every single component should still be here. Now in the box you should get a dish, a router, some power cables, and a cardboard or paper card of some kind. It's gonna have a QR code on it. What you do is you scan the QR code with whatever device you want, take said device outside while running the app, and point your camera to the sky, and you're gonna run a couple of scans. What that's gonna do is it's gonna tell you the best place on your property to set your dish. Now ours happens to be out by the flour mill, and this leads us to the next problem. We got two main buildings on the property and we need service in both. How do we extend service from one building to the next without buying a whole nother packaged unit? Stay tuned because we're going to show you exactly what we did. Step one, we got to dig a trench.
Paul is digging a trench for Starlink. So we have good service. Hard to get good service out here in Scandia. And look at that. When you have equipment, look at how fast that trench was done. Nice.
Had about 5 minutes of shoveling. Oh, not even. Probably a minute on that side. Minute to come across here, just level the bottom out. And not even a minute there to clean up that. We are ready for conduit.
Explain what you're doing, Paul.
Putting a little dirt on the pipe so it doesn't move or twist when I bury it with the tractor.
Now, keep in mind, you don't have to go this extreme when burying PVC or conduit pipe. But in our case, since this is a high traffic area with both vehicles and heavy equipment, we decided to go this route to avoid damaging the pipe over time. And like Gina said, we had the equipment, so why not have some fun with it?
Got our conduit running side. That's all finished on this side. The last side hooked up, plumbed in. Gonna do some leveling here. That side's in.
Okay, so now that all the dirt work is done, all the conduit is plumbed in and run underground, you're probably asking yourselves, how the heck are you guys gonna fish a cable all the way through all that pipe? Well, you're gonna need a string, and most importantly, a shop vac.
Thankfully, this is pretty straightforward. All we had to do was make an airtight connection between the shop vac and the conduit sticking through the wall. Then, we let the magic happen.
So hopefully the vacuum will suck this string all the way through, and then we'll hook the coax cable onto this string and pull the coax through. So the vacuum is in the other building. You can hear it up here sucking right now. So we're gonna try and see what happens. I'm not sure if there's gonna be enough airflow here to pull it up. So before we get too far, I'm gonna pull this back out, and I'm gonna put something on the end of this to catch a little air. Perfect. I hope. That's just like magic. Same way the internet gets to your house. Magic. Look at that. Uh-oh. Look at her, she's sucking right in. So it's there, the styrofoam is blocking the vacuum. So it's done pulling, no more airflow. So the string is now in the other building. Alrighty, just like magic. So we're going to want to take both of these box covers off because we are not going to pull the cable through the entire run. So we're going to pull this out of here. Here's the end of our string. You know what we're going to do is we're going to duct tape this, or tape it on. I don't think I want to use duct tape, but we're going to put tape over this so these edges here do not get caught on the seams of the pipe.
After getting the cable prepped, all we had to do was take the cover off the conduit on the other side and slowly start pulling the string through while Gina unrolled the cable.
Nice we have a clear shot of vision here because you don't want to pull too hard. I can only pull as fast as she's unrolling it. Look at that. That's how you get a cable through an underground pipe. So you need to know how much you want on the inside of the building, because now we're going to feed this inside to our router. And I'm thinking that should be more than enough for as far as we're going, because our router is pretty close to where we're at here.
Alright, so for this part, all we had to do was very carefully guide the cable through the 90-degree port at the end of our run of conduit. You gotta be careful not to yank on the cable as you're pulling it through. Otherwise, you risk tearing the cable on the edges of the pipe in the conduit. But once we pulled it through the end over on the flour mill, it was as simple as repeating the process in the other building. Albeit, we didn't need the string this time as the run of conduit was much shorter in the other building. Once the cable was successfully pulled into both buildings, we were able to move on to our last phase.
Okay, here we go.
Now, what we're doing here is prepping a path for the cable to be run through the wall upstairs. We decided to do this over going directly through the floor because we have an active flour mill downstairs, and we don't want any contaminants coming up or down through the floor. That, and it's much easier to patch a hole in the wall than the floor if we decide to move the cable someday. After managing to drill both holes, we ran into a slight problem. We had forgotten there was insulation in the section of wall we drilled into. So, we got our trusty shop vac again, had Gina go upstairs, and we repeated the same trick we used to get the cable through the conduit. And forgive the crude cable management.
There she went. Nice.
Alright, this is where the magic actually happens, so let me try to explain this madness. That looks familiar. Anyway, we ran the cable up through the wall and plugged it into our setup. This is where it gets a little bit complicated. Gen 2 routers from Starlink did not come equipped with an Ethernet port, sadly, so you'll need to get an adapter. Thankfully, this is only about $25 directly from Starlink, but honestly, it should have been included with the router. Now, if you want to connect more devices through an Ethernet cable, you'll need an Ethernet switch. This one here has 5 ports, plenty for what we need. From there, you'll need to connect an Ethernet cable from the adapter on your Starlink router and plug that into the switch. That will make all other ports on that switch live. From here, we plugged in our new cable from the other building, and we put a spare router we had laying around on the other end to extend the network out there. So let's go take a look. Alright, so here we are in the garage again. We got our other router, and then we have our new cable. And that is running from the conduit in the back that you saw through that hole in the wall that's eventually going to get a grommet put in there into this router. Now this guy was just going to be scrapped, but if you have an old router laying around, this trick is going to work. So let's go ahead and show you guys what the speeds are looking like out here now. After getting everything hooked up, I ran some speed tests on both floors of the building using the official Starlink app. Speeds can vary due to satellite positioning and weather conditions, and it happened to be snowing when I filmed this, but this is leaps and bounds ahead of what we had before, and the signal has to travel through 100 plus feet of cable. But now we can use Wi-Fi calling without having our connection dropped, and we don't have to wait an entire week to get a video uploaded. Well, that is going to wrap up the video for today. We hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know down in the comments below if we helped you out with your own internet solution. Maybe we gave you some ideas. I don't know, but we love to hear back from you guys. So that being said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little tiny bell to stay notified when we upload on this channel. And I wasn't kidding when I said it was snowing. We finally got hit with winter up here in the UP. So stay tuned. Some more fun stuff is to come. We'll catch you guys on the next one.